first trick we'll explain here is the predicted ACAAN. This is the one where I had 31 written on the back of the 2 of diamonds. I had it inside this envelope. So that's placed off to the side. And then your preparation is your regular 2 of diamonds. I have a reverse breather crimp in this card. That's where you take your index and middle finger and your thumb and you put it in the middle of the card and you just pinch it and you kind of drag that out to all 4 corners. Pinch in the middle, drag it to the corner, pinch in the middle, drag it to the corner, pinch in the middle, drag to the corner. So it creates that X through the card. So now obviously it's really easy to then cut to that breather crimp. I've also marked it in the upper left and bottom right hand corner with a little tiny pencil dot so that I can identify the card as I'm dealing through the deck. So reverse breather crimp, and it's got the pencil dot, okay? In this particular version that I put on YouTube, I did a force, a really old force where the 2 of diamonds starts on top, and then you take the top 2 cards and you turn those face up, and you put 1 cover card on top of it. So your setup is face down card, 2 face up cards, and your force card, the 2 of diamonds, is in the 3rd position from the top. Okay, so that was my starting position. In the video, I started with a riffle shuffle, and I just let a chunk of cards fall here at the beginning so that you couldn't see the face-up card, okay? You then ask the spectator to cut off about 1/3 of the cards, so they're gonna make a cut, and I showed that they cut to a random card here, the 6 of spades. I said, but they also cut to a random card there. Let's count down and see how far it is. So now we'll count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's the 19th card down, and I showed this card. So now that's the force card. It's the 2 of diamonds, and we show this to the spectator to remember. I now have a face-down card with a face-up card that I need to get rid of right here. So at this point, you could do a KM move and clean that up to turn that face down. You could double undercut the card to the bottom, and then just do a half pass. You could half pass the card face up if you wanted. What I did on the video was I did the double undercut to the bottom, and then I literally just put this half with that half just to face it. I turned them over, and I talked about, you can see that there's no face down cards in the face up section. You can see that there's no face up cards in the face down section, just to prove that there were no double backers or double facers, okay? So now, when you have the selection returned, because it's got a breather crimp in it, it's a really free selection. They can put it back in wherever they want. You can square the cards up and show that you're not holding any breaks, okay? From here, I just cut to my breather crimp to the 2 of diamonds, and I shuffled. I did a riffle shuffle to the table, just making sure that the 2 of diamonds would fall to the table first. So I let the 2 of diamonds go, so it's on the bottom, and I riffle shuffled off. And I even spread the cards out so you could see that it was a clean mix. And the 2 of diamonds is obviously on the bottom of the deck, okay? I pushed everything together and squared up. And at this point, I did an overhand shuffle, moving the 2 of diamonds from the bottom to the top. So did an overhand shuffle like this, moved it to the top, and then I want to run 6 cards on top of it. I want this card to be in the 7th position from the top, 7 cards down from the top. So I quickly ran 6, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, and now I'm in the position for the riffle shuffles. So I have the force card at the 7th position, and now I'm going to give the deck 3 overhand shuffles. These are real shuffles. They are not false shuffles. And what we're doing here is we're going to use the riffle shuffle like the Pharaoh shuffle to control a card to a position. Now the Pharaoh shuffle is exact and precise. The riffle shuffle is not. But if you're pretty consistent with your shuffling, you can get it into an area that you kind of have a general idea of where it's going to end up. So I know that if I have it in the 7th position and I give it 3 riffle shuffles, it's going to end up around 31, which is the prediction that I've made. It might be as low as 24, it might be as high as 35, but more than half the time it's going to be around 31. When I did the YouTube video, it actually was at the 32nd position after the 3rd shuffle. So what I'm going to do now And you can always see where the card is because you have the breather crimp in it. So I can just look at the side and I can kind of guess and estimate how deep in the pack it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a riffle shuffle here. That's one. And then we'll give it a second riffle shuffle. Now after the second riffle shuffle, you do kind of need to want to spot it. Right now I can see that it's about 20 cards down, maybe 19. So when I get ready for the third shuffle, I'm going to take off about a third of the cards. I want to make sure the 2 of diamonds is still in this upper half, in my right hand half. And now I'm going to give it the third and final riffle shuffle, okay? Make sure these are squared up here. So go ahead and give it the third shuffle. And now as I square up, I'm going to look at the edge of the pack and I'm going to see there's this gap in the deck because the breather crimp is in pretty heavily. And I can see that it's deeper than 26. It's probably around 29. And I know that my prediction is at 31. Okay, so in this case here, I might make a cut and move a card or two from the bottom to the top to get it a little closer to 31. Let's say I move 2 cards. And to do that, I would say, look, you can see your card's not on top. We can see that your card's not on the bottom. Okay, and as I do that, I would say we could even cut the cards. And right there, I just did a double undercut of 2 cards from the bottom to the top. And I would stop there. Okay, I would say, now all we got to do is open up the prediction. I would take the card out and say, it says 31. So I'm now going to count the cards face down, 31 cards. Okay, so I would start that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 cards. Now I look and I can see my pencil dot is at 32. So I'm now at that position that I was in when I did the trick on the video. And I then took these cards and said, look, I just dealt 31 cards to the table based on what the prediction said. That leads us to 1 card. Okay? And I can say that that led us to just 1 card. Okay? And at this point, this is going to be their card, the 2 of diamonds, which you can say that you then predicted before the trick even began. And at this point, you're really clean and you can show all the cards as being different. Okay? So, sometimes you'll get a perfect hit where it's exactly at number 31 and you don't have to show the next card, which is really nice. The other thing that's good here is, what if you count 31 cards and your prediction, so let's see, I counted 30, 31. I always kind of push the cards over just a little bit as I deal. So now I can kind of just glimpse and I can see that the pencil dot here in this case is at 33 because this was 31, this is 32, and I can see the pencil dot is at 33. I'm usually not off by more than that. It's usually dead on or I'm off 1. Occasionally I'm off 2. Okay, and as you practice this and you get better at looking at the side and seeing how deep it is, you're going to find that it gets easier and easier as you practice it, okay? So here's 31. Let's say it's at 33. If this is the situation I'm in, I would then say, and what was the value of your card? Was it a king or a 10? And they're going to say it was a 2, which that using the 2 is going to help you. So this way, if I'm off by more than 1, like if I'm off 2 in this position, I can say, and that tells me to deal 2 more cards. So we dealt 31. Your card has a value of 2. We'll deal 1, 2 more cards, and now you're covered. That's another out. You can show the 2 of diamonds and you can show that the prediction is a match. Okay, so it's really kind of like the trick that cannot be explained. There's a series of outs, and in this version, by using a 2 as your prediction card, it covers you if you're off just a little bit. Okay, so let's do that one more time. Let's just shuffle the 2 of diamonds one more time with the 3 shuffle sequence. So I'm going to run 6 on top. There's 6 cards on top of it. It's in the 7th position. So I know 3 riffle shuffles. This is 1. Okay, here comes 2. And here's the 3rd riffle shuffle. And as I square up, I'm just going to glance at the edge. Now right now, I think it's at 29. I think the card is at 29. And I'm looking, if you take a look at the edge of the pack, you can see there's a line in it, and that line is a little bit deeper than halfway down, which would obviously be 26. I think it's at 29. It could be 28. I might be off by 1. In this case, I would probably move 3 cards. Okay, so now when I count, and I count face down in this trick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. And here, it's a perfect hit at 31. Okay, and I just had to cut the deck just to move a few more cards. But what I found is that it's usually between 26 and 33. A lot of times I don't have to move any cards from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top. And there you go. I mean, that's the trick. You could use any force you want, but I think the key thing here is when you have the card in that 7th position, I know that 2 riffle shuffles, it's going to be at 19, 20, 21. And with 3 riffle shuffles, it's going to be right around 31. Okay? And then just get familiar with, you know, being able to check the sides and just see how deep it is and just practice. You know, freely shuffle the deck, look at the sides, see how deep it is, and just guess. Like if I think that there's 17 cards below it, then I would subtract that from 52, and I would say it's probably 35 cards down if I know that there's just 17 cards below that. And you just have to practice knowing like how thick little packets are. If you don't want to use a breather crimp, you could put an edge marking on the side, maybe a marker or a pen or a pencil, something where you can see a line on the side of the deck that only you can see and no one else can pick up on. I have found that the breather crimp, it's easier for me to estimate how deep it is in the pack than when I use the edge marking. But either way would work. And in this particular trick, I like the breather crimp because then I can use it as a control because I can cut to it very easily when I want to shuffle it to the bottom of the pack. Okay, so that's the predicted ACAAN. It's a really cool trick. It's kind of like the trick that cannot be explained. And I have a pretty good idea of what 31 looks like because I've looked at it a lot. So this trick feels really safe for me, especially if you use a 2. This is going to cover you in all your outs. One last thing, if you had, let's say the card was at 29. Let's say you count down. You're counting down to 31, and then you see that the pencil dot force card goes to 29, 30, 31. Now it's down in this packet and it's not here. So in that case, you just pick these up, put them right back on top, say what was your value? It was 2. So now you're going to count 1, 2, which is going to leave your pencil dot card on top. Say we're going to count 2 more cards for the value of yours, and then you're good to go and everything's going to match up. Okay, the same would be true if you counted down and you saw that the 2 of diamonds was falling at 30, 31. Now you can pick up what was the value. It's a 2. Now you can count 1, 2, and now you've got a dead hit off the value of the 2 on the 2 of diamonds. I hope that makes sense. I wouldn't do the trick until you can get it dead on or off 1 or off 2. That's a really big leeway. Just check it, and I think you'll be off and running. It's a really great trick. I would feel safe doing this with an audience because of the cover up, using the 2. There's some other ideas I have. There's a video I posted called Ask the Joker, where I had a joker with a 2 on the back, which was one of my covers if I was off with the riffle shuffle technique. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop that video there. And then the next one I'll talk about is the 2-deck ACAAN, okay? All right.